Tottenham On Tour.
It's a Spurs podcast with the two Brians featuring Tottenham Tantrum Gold. We've got Dermot Kuma with us, and of course, Adam Clark has joined us as well. Just want to bring in the lads here. I'm going to start around the horn. Mr. Brian Daigle, how are you, sir?
I am very, very good, sir. Very, very good. Thank you very much indeed. It's getting a lot colder here, but all good other than that.
Excellent, excellent. I'm going to go to Adam first because I want to get into the... yeah, there's a bit of delay there, Brian. Mute if you're going to talk. Good to see you, Adam. How are you, brother?
Thanks.
Is everybody's got a delay? Is it
great to
just...
Yep. Do we?
Cool.
Oh yeah, but I'm good
to see
anyway.
you,
Like if you can hear me, just know I'm good. Like yeah, and we're brilliant to see like Dermot and Kuva again. Like hope the channel is going well.
Absolutely. I think we're experiencing a bit of delay, so if that's an issue, you hop in the comments and let us know if everybody's like that. I'll start with Kuva. Kuva, good to see you, buddy. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm very well here, thank you. Yourself?
Excellent. Good to have you on the channel. So you're not delayed. So I think we're just experiencing delay from Brian and Adam at the moment. Excuse me, Dermot, how you doing, buddy? Good to have you on the channel.
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you for having us both on tonight. It's a real honor and a privilege to come on your great channel. So thank you very much. Awesome,
man. It's great to have you guys. It should be a good laugh. We're gonna talk a little bit about what didn't happen at the weekend. The Burnley game gets snowed out. I mean, this doesn't happen a lot, right? There, the weather in the north was pretty terrible across the board. We saw what happened in City. We saw what happened in a few of the other spots. It did look good, and I thought we were going to get to watch a good game in the snow, which is always a good laugh. I'll start with you, Kuva. How annoyed was it? How close were you to sort of your regular ritual that day and didn't get to watch the game?
Well, I got onto the Irish Hotspur doing the pre-match pump up like he usually does.
Nice.
So we as I was in the middle of my sort of segment, we had the game called off, and I was about to be shouting out "Come on, you Spurs" to finish it off. I just thought, well, it doesn't really sound right, but did it anyway, which was strange because I love the club, so I'll give it one of those anyway. And it was just what's going right at the moment. So the match being called off seems to be par for the course at the moment.
Yeah, it's a bit of a longer preseason, right? We got more time on the training ground.
You could say that. No, I just thought I was just really upset for all the fans that have been travelling. We even knew there were people coming from Canada and spent, I think I heard 31 hours of travel. And it's all well and good saying, oh, well, the next tickets are free and things, but from the club, but that's not enough, is it?
Yeah, you're going to pay for the flight, you're going to pay for the hotel, like that. That's the stuff that's expensive. Of course,
and the time as well.
Well, and the time as well, yeah, absolutely. How do you get that time off again for whenever that game happens?
Yeah, exactly.
It's difficult one for sure. Dermot, how about yourself? Was your ritual interrupted, and how disappointed were you?
Well, I was getting ready for the game. I was actually preparing some lunch, and it came up on my phone that the game had been cancelled. So I was disappointed because I was looking forward to it. I was about to do the watch along with the Irish Hotspur, so I was really looking forward to 3 points, get Thursday's game out of the way. So, but I feel sorry for the fans. That's who I really felt sorry for.
Absolutely, we needed something to kind of get us over what had happened midweek too. So now we still only have that ridiculous Thursday night memory. And Adam Clark, thoughts on the game not happening on the weekend?
Yeah, it's not great. But I mean, if you consider the results, in the Conference League, it wasn't that bad. To be honest, like you said, more time in the training ground is exactly what some of these players need. But at the same time, I wanted to see a good game. We bet Burnley already this season, so who knows? We probably would have beaten them again. And if you ask me if everything had been put together, but I saw images of the pitch. There was so much snow. You could literally have a bloody snowman building snowman competition, rather than have a proper football match.
Yeah, I think they actually
was a no-brainer.
Yeah, I think they actually did that, Adam, on Premier League today. They actually put out a poll on their Twitter what manager would make the best snowman, and they had
Oh
everybody
my god.
everybody message in and do it.
Probably Sean Dyche because he. Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, I was just gonna say it. Go ahead, Adam. That's fine.
No, probably Sean Dyche because he didn't even have his bloody jacket on.
Yeah.
he was like loving it. Like,
Yeah, it seemed like it wasn't a problem for him, the weather at all. Bri, we sort of had this conversation a few times already about the disappointment of this game not happening. It is a good or bad thing. We discussed it last night on the North End. Have you changed your position, or are you still feeling the same way about it?
I still think, like we were talking yesterday on your show, it's a negative. This extra training, yeah, it's all good. They're going to train extra, but it's the desire and passion of the rocket Conte put up their arses that would have had them running through brick walls and through snow, funnily enough, on Sunday. And now he's got to try and keep that going till Thursday. It's also another game that we're not playing where he can analyse. Yeah, you can see him in training, but you can't analyse them unless you see them in games. And we've lost an opportunity there. And then now you look at when it can be fit in. It's not going to be in December for sure. It certainly won't be in January. And then if we're in the playoffs for the round to qualify for the conference, it's just another nightmare that's not warranted. In regards to the people that have travelled all that way, obviously it's such. And ironically, there's the Dallas two, but there's also two people from Toronto Spurs that have travelled all that way to watch a game to see it called off by. I mean, the irony in that someone leaving to go to England to see a game called off for snow is just ironic, as Alanis Morissette once said, and it's just ridiculous at this time of the game's called off. But I still think, it's a curse rather than a blessing.
Yeah, it's a funny one. I kind of feel. I think after you made your point last night, I've changed my mind a little bit on it. I did find it interesting. Kuva, did you see what Conte had said post game? He just sort of said he was happy it got canceled because worried about the players getting injured. Of course, we don't have much of a squad. We know that based on what happened on Thursday. We lose another quality defender. We play in that that dodgy situation. It is a risk. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's always been a really huge thing for Conte that he needs pre-season.
Yeah,
and he hasn't had this in this job, and he made a big point of saying that as well. So the more time he can get on the training pitch with the players, the better. But what we saw against Mura, I don't think some of those are even going to respond on a training pitch. They're just not good enough. There's the old saying, you can't make an omelette without breaking eggs. But at the moment, I think we're at a stage where we just can't make an omelette.
Yeah, we don't even have eggs. It's like you need to have some eggs to get in the frying pan if you're gonna have an omelet. So,
don't even have a frying pan.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
The kitchen's fucking closed.
Say that, yeah.
Oh man, I didn't make it to 10 minutes.
Contaminated with the rats.
It's so close. Yeah, exactly. So not much to add to really talk about this game. I guess
close. Brian. That's not bad for you.
I know. I got to 8 minutes. I'm getting closer to 10 minutes, but I still didn't make it. I ended up swearing. Sorry, guys. But yeah, I think the biggest problem, I think, Dermot, I'd love to get your thoughts on this, is where does this game get played? Where are they going to jam it into the already ridiculous fixture schedule? I mean, arguably probably January, February, maybe the time, or when we get knocked out of the Europe or the Conference League, maybe.
I can see it probably March, April. I can actually see it then because we're going to have no game spare between then. I mean, it's going to be then. And if they put it in, if we get knocked out, then bringing it in January, February.
Yeah.
Sure. But I think it will be March and April. I think that's when they'll fit it in.
Makes the most sense, doesn't it? Awesome. Anything to add before we move on, guys? It's there's not a heck of a lot to talk about a game that didn't happen.
Yeah, right? I think I was going to say for drama, perhaps it would be good to have that as the last game of the season where they need to win to stay up and we need to win to get top 4. How about that?
Oh, Kuva, you're so positive, buddy. It was the top 4. I thought you were going to say finish in the top 10.
4, yeah.
Oh, we're still in every competition. We're fine. Look, we're in 4 competitions. Who else can say that?
Well, a lot of teams can say that they're in a. Anyway, let's not get into that. Well, I mean, are we really in the conference? Yeah, are we really in the Conference League? I mean, from what we've seen, it's a must.
Pioneers.
Must win.
We could be the first ever winners.
Yeah, I guess that's true. All right, well, let's move on. We've got Brentford in a couple of days on Thursday. Brentford team who started the season really well. We all watched sort of the beating Arsenal in the opening game, which was glorious as hell, of course, and everybody enjoyed that. They went on a bit of a run and didn't lose for a while, but have recently, other than they did win last week on the weekend 1-0. One win in the last 5 and 3 losses out of those 5 is not the best record from a team that started as well as they did. They still look good. They still playing good football. That last 20 minutes against Chelsea was really good to watch. Put them under the cosh. I'll start with you, Adam. Brentford, are you worried? What do you think? And how do you think Conte is going to approach this game?
Well, if I were Conte, I'd approach it carefully enough, and just don't be too cocky, because I mean, even despite their poor run of form recently, I'm still nervous about Brentford. They have looked like absolute ballers so far for the majority of this season. I mean that start was I don't think really a lot of people were expecting that. Even though sometimes it does happen. A new team gets promoted and they go on this great run in their first season and second season. Even then, it's the second season syndrome thing, and they go back down. But we're not in that second season. So yeah, I'm nervous enough for Brentford. They have some good players. But hopefully, Conte will be able to sort them out. And put out the right team, the right players, and bench the likes of Winks this time, please.
Yeah. I think Winks skips back, right? So hopefully Winks doesn't get the start. Brian, what do you expect here? Do you think are we going to see Tanguy get into that midfield 3? Is he going to switch from because he's been playing this 3-4-3 and he's kind of stuck on the 3-4-3. And I want to get Akuva and Dermot's thoughts on this too, the shape of the team and the I don't know why he's it's almost like he's forcing it, knowing that we have a much better squad for a 4-5-2 essentially with a 10, which maybe it's because we don't have a 10. But Brian, what are your thoughts on? Do you think he's going to sort of do the same thing he's been doing because it's sort of worked, or do you think he's going to change it up a bit?
Sorry, who are you speaking to?
Oh, it's Brian. Sorry, Brian's muted, so he didn't. There you go.
Right.
Brian.
And Brian's paused.
So there's 2 ways of looking at this. There is the first way of looking at this, which is obviously he needs to play. He needs to play under Dembele. We need some creativity. It's just not looking like it's there without him. Or you look at the other side of the Leeds game where he said, I don't think these players were fit enough, so I told them to hold back for the first half. Well, now they have to be fitter. They have to be fitter than they were for the Leeds game. So does he stay the same? A lot more energised and more fitter and ready to play the Conte style. And unfortunately, I think it's the first one where he's going to have to play Tanguy for that creativity. So I hope to see Tanguy. It's a home game. Brentford have been very, very good. And one thing Brentford will do, they will commit for 90 minutes. They will do everything they can for 90 minutes. So we shall wait and see. I'm interested to hear what the others have to say. But after we've done this round, there is a great, am I Jonathan? Great question from Andy Lloyd to go over in the comments. So we'll do that. But let's hear everyone else's comments first.
Yeah, let's get through this and then we'll go back to that comment. Just make sure you find it and pop it up on screen, Brian, when we're done. Kuva, your thoughts on the shape of the team, the 4-3-4-3 or the 3-5-2, or did you see a change in the system and change in the players that are going to come in?
Well, I think the bravest formation of the lot was the one you said to start with, a 4-5-2, because that means no goalkeeper.
Oh, sorry. 3-5-2 is what I meant to say. Thanks for calling me out on that, Kuva. I appreciate it.
I've got to have some sort of input.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah, I think Conte would love to go for a 3-5-2. I think because it's like the stock format for the Italian managers. So
yeah,
there are 4-4-2 in England, really. But at the moment, he just can't. We do not have the players for that. It requires a out and out poacher in the box and a sort of target man as well. Now, we've got Kane who can do the target man role, but would he call Sonny an out-and-out poacher? Because I really wouldn't. He does favour more coming in from one of the wider areas.
It's true.
And since we've got Lucas Moura as well, we're really set up for the 3-4-3. I think we have to at the moment. It's just no choice. Otherwise, formation, is that it doesn't really matter too much, because no matter what we do, we've got this chronic lack of quality players in the middle of the park.
Yeah, that's where the issue is, isn't it? The
It
midfield.
really is.
Yeah,
So-
it's blatant. Obviously, we all want a backup for Kane, and we recognize that our center half situation isn't the best either. But when you don't have, when you lose an Eriksson and you lose a Dumbele and you don't replace them, and then you don't have any creativity, and we haven't had it for a few seasons, it's pretty obvious to most people watching what's going on. It needs to get sorted. I'll go to you, Dermot. What are your thoughts on the shape, and then we'll get to that question.
I think he'll play the shape he's been playing, but I would put Gill behind Kane. Everyone keeps saying about Tanguy. I give Gill a go there. He's a promising young player, and I think he's got the talent to play that number 10 role. And actually sit behind and just spread it around. Because whatever formation Conte's going to do at the moment, we haven't got the players that we can trust fulfill their roles.
Yeah,
you can only pick 3 or 4 players out of that formation, out of a 3-5-2. You can say they will do their job. Holberg, Reguilon, and Kane. The rest of them, they're either going to have a good game or a bad game. So I would put Gill in that. Try him out.
I don't see that. Like I've thought of that as well, and I do see Hill as sort of a player that can potentially be that. I think he's maybe just a bit too young to do it in the Premier League. He hasn't really shown enough for me the last few times he's played. Having said that, he hasn't played with the first team the last few times we've seen him played. We've seen him sort of this B side, or this second Spurs side. So maybe it's a good show. Maybe it's worth a try. I do think Tanguy could do it if he can be disciplined enough to understand what his job is and stay in his position. You started to see him do that a little bit more in the last game when he played. Despite him not having a great game, he still stayed in his spots a little bit more. It looked like he was a little bit more controlled rather than a lot of the sort of flail that he often does and does on his own. So maybe he's getting into his head a little bit. So we'll see a little bit better from Tanguy. Bright, but you look like you want to say something, and then let's get to that question.
No. I was just waiting for that question. Sorry, it's just the internet. I don't know if it's StreamYard or if it's my internet. It really is being a bit patchy, so I do apologise if I'm coming in a bit loud or whatever. But it wasn't. It's actually, I thought it was a question. It's not, but it's a great talking point from Andy, which is obviously now there's rumours that the Romero transfer is getting looked into and investigated. So there could be. We were talking about this on the Two Bryans on Friday. There could. I mean, they're looking into this one, and then obviously there's the swap deal with Brian Hill, who we were just talking about. So this could become a real issue right now, especially when it comes to strength in depth right now. If this gets looked into, you've got to say it's quite worrying.
Yeah, I wonder about that. I people I talk to who are in Italian football or who follow the Serie A a little bit more than I do are like, yeah, that's Italian football. Like it's kind of like corruption is across the board. This is normal. Whether or not it will affect our transfers, and I guess that's the potential issue because it's English football dealing with Serie A, and maybe there's some dodginess there. But yeah, Adam, what do you think? Do you think something we should be worried about?
Yeah, I was actually just about to ask Brian there, like, was that part of the allegations that a French journalist released, like, maybe a week or so ago? Like, I mean, if it is, then I'm really nervous, like, because some of the things, like, he released, not only were they shocking, but they were, like, I mean, you can just have, like, that really bad gut feeling that they're actually true, a lot of the things he said, like, if not, and I may be a bit cynical, like, by saying this, but, like, if not everything he said is true, like, I mean, that's why there's no reason to lie. But look, like, we'll hope for the best. I can hope that this deal wasn't too dodgy. But like you said, I mean, Italian football, like, it's had a history of like being corrupt and all this thing. But like, so like you go into any like country, like, and there's corruption there in the football association. Like, should we in Ireland, like, I'm sure Dort will like, agree with me on this. Like, we've had our own, like, scuffles here, like, if you know what I mean, like with corruptions, like with John Delaney and all them. So like it wouldn't surprise you, but at the same time, I just hope we can keep him. Like,
yeah, for sure. It's a strange one. Dermot, any thoughts on this? Have you dug into it at all, or is it something to be worried about?
I've looked into it a little bit. I am worried, but just another thing. Whoever sent the video of Galini to Tottenham, did they send a different goalkeeper?
Right?
Because didn't he come from Roma or somewhere in Italy? Did they send another keeper? It's like, oh, here he is. I mean, Italian football's riddled with corruption. But it is the worrying. If Paratici has been caught up in that, it is going to be quite worrying because Romero's our only decent defender. and we can't really afford to lose him.
Yeah, it's weird. I wonder how the deal itself will be affected based on what's happening with the finances at Juventus, and it does look like, or at least in the conversation within the media, that is that deal specifically, and I think they also said the Galini deal, like you just mentioned. So, yeah, it's a strange one, and I think Brian Heel, there's something dodgy about that as well, if I'm not mistaken. Kuva, what are your thoughts on it? You worried about it, or are we overthinking it?
Sorry,
Go ahead, Brian.
Sorry, Kuva. Just before you go in, my friend, just to say the one with, and I know it's StreamYard because I've just had a wife thing saying StreamYard here, Mike. So I do apologise that I am lacking. But the Brian Hill transfer will be because, as Matt held this off in Italy, where Paratici was involved, and obviously Brian Hill was used in a swap deal with Lamella, so it's going to raise a lot of suspicions. And just very quickly on Galini, listen, he's not been good, but I think people have got to give him an easy chance at the moment. Look at it. De Gea wasn't brilliant when he first came to United. He was actually awful, absolutely awful. And look what he turned into. Yes, he hasn't looked good, but I think he'll come good. Not superb. I don't think he's a Lloris, but I think we're going in too hard on him at the moment. But sorry, Kuva, back to you and Romero.
Right. Yeah, quite agree, Brian. A lot of points made there. With the Romero thing, it comes back to that old phrase again. There's no smoke without fire. Now, in a lot of cases, things can be unfounded, but football tends to have a habit of uncovering something concrete, and then it all unravels from there. And we've seen it time and time again over the years. It's brought down managers, it's brought down clubs. We know the corruption's there. The only league, I think, well, one of the few leagues going to be free from corruption, or relatively free from corruption. It's probably going to be the MLS. And it's just because you have such incredibly harsh penalties for tax evasion and things in the States. So people are more likely to toe the line. Again, no smoke without fire. I don't want to look too much into it because it's a bit pointless. They've obviously got something already significant, because it wouldn't go this far if there was just a rumor or just an accusation. It's got to be something that's backed up. We won't know what it is quite yet, I'm assuming. So let's see how it unfolds. But it's got to be a worry.
Yeah. It's the last thing the Spurs need at this point as well. We're trying to do something to fix our recruitment situation, and of course we've just made it worse by bringing in a corrupt recruiter and his team. So potentially, anyway, I don't want to assume that it's a reality. But a little bit off topic we got there, but that's good. I'm glad we chatted about that because it is an important one. There's another one that somebody else brought up that before we get on more back onto the Brentford match. Amir Sarder says, talk about Stevie B going. What are your guys' thoughts? This is something that's been in the media as well. I'll stay with you, Kuva, on this one. Stevie B looks like we saw what happened against, I think it was the Leeds game where we won the game, and he went to hug him, and he kind of like avoided it. He looked like he was pouting, being a bit of a baby. Is this a problem? And do you think Stevie Bergwijn's not going to have anything under Conte?
I don't think Bergwijn has shown anything since the moment he arrived. Very early on, he got arrested for speeding in his brand new sports car. Saying this on the channel earlier, it strikes me as he's one of these youngsters that gets their brand new wage packet in. They're interested in their sports cars, fast money, women, get out there, living the high life.
London.
Yeah, he's lost his head before he even got onto the pitch. It's
100%.
It's a shame, but it looks like he's already lost. I don't see him doing anything from now on.
Yeah, and where does he play? Right in the system, the only place I could think of is a right back. Like a right wing back potentially. Like get rid of Doherty, have him play a right wing back. He's sort of the backup to Royale. But I mean that's it. Or he does what Lucas is doing, and Lucas does it better. So why would you? Unless Lucas gets injured, right?
The only thing I'd say for him at the right wing back role is he does have the pace for it at least.
Yeah, that's my.
Um,
And
but-
he played that sort of under Mourinho to some extent. He was tracking back quite a bit, so you could see him. That's why I thought I could see him kind of doing that, but at the same time, it's.
But I mean, gut feeling is from what he's offered so far and how injury prone he is on top of it. Why bother? We could just look at better options.
100%. Dermot, anything to add to that? What are your thoughts on Bergwijn?
I think I think if we can get good money from let him go. I mean, he hasn't really done anything for us apart from getting injured. And I think that on Sunday when Conte went to hug him or the other game, and that's his reaction said it all. I don't think he wants to be there. So if he wants to go, let him go.
Yeah, and if you're going to respond that way after your team wins because you didn't get to play, it says everything about your attitude to me. And it's like, get out of my club at that point. Like I don't want to see players doing that when the new manager is coming up to you to celebrate a win just because you didn't get to play. Earn your spot, get on the earn your place on the pitch, and then you'll be hugging them because you scored a goal or you've contributed something.
Yeah, it just looked like he was sulking. It just looked like a little kid throwing his toys out the pram. Yep. I didn't play, so I'm just not going to bother.
Him and Doherty together doing it, and they've both been piss poor, so they get well deserved. Adam, thoughts on Bergwijn?
Yeah, he's finished. I mean, like I just don't know where he can fit into the system. Like the only thing he's been doing consistently, is sitting on the subs bench along with Doherty, and like now they're starting to sulk, even though they really shouldn't be sulky about anything because they've shown I mean, okay, it's obvious they want to get onto the pitch, but like if you're too bad to be on the pitch, I mean, you're not going to get on the pitch. I mean, it's in on page 2 of how to be a football player. Like if you're bad, you don't start. Or you don't play games. It's kind of sad. It is really sad what's happened though, because I remember when he first came, we were all hyped as hell. And of course then
definitely some buzz
he scored that. Sure. Yeah, he scored that goal he scored that goal against Man City. And we were like, oh, here we go. Now this is the man. And since then, and maybe a few months after that, since then, nah, nothing.
Yeah, it was that Liverpool game really? We should have won that Liverpool game if he.
Oh my God, we should have. Yeah, we should have. Yeah, we could have won. Exactly, we should have at least drawn that. But he missed that absolute sitter. And it's just gone completely downhill.
He missed two of them, right? He hit the post on one and missed one completely. So it's just.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was just really bad. Brian, anything to add before we move on?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully now the lack is better. I am, by the looks of it, no. I feel like Stelios. What I will say with Bergwijn is I still think there's a player there. I'm going to buck the trend on this chat. This guy hasn't been able to put 10 games together in a row on position since we've had him, whether it be through injury, whether it be through lack of form, whether it be COVID, whether it be him playing a right back when he's a right winger. He's doing it for Holland. He's doing it for Holland. There is a player there, and I think there is still a player there. So I can't honestly judge him in a bad way, and played 10 games consistently. The game against Liverpool where he hit the post, again playing at right wing back, the abuse he got afterwards was totally and unwarranted, and I still think there's something there. When he is fit, he gives more effort than other players that haven't been given effort. I think it's too quick to judge him. Yes, we paid a lot of money for him. Yes, from what I heard, the wage hike we gave him from PSV or wherever it was to here is quite frankly we more than doubled his wages. And if we did, that's just stupid financial responsibility from the great parasite himself and the powers that be. I still think there's something there. But whether we get the chance to see it and whether it to a Conte system is to be seen.
Fair enough. And it's good to have different opinions on here. And I think Bergwijn, it's I was excited when he came in. I think, like Adam said, it looked like he was going to be something special. But and fair point to you, Brian, that he hasn't really had a run of games. But you do earn those run of games by how you train. And I understand that sometimes that match fitness is called match fitness for a reason. The more you play games, the better you're going to get at that 90 minutes, and you're going to get how that contributes to your form. So completely understand that that's the case, but at the same time, it's been a long time. How long ago did we buy him? Was it 2.5 seasons ago or two? It's been a while, right? Does it it should take a little. Yeah, it should take a little less than that than it's taken, I think. But fair point, and I think Yeah, I can see why you feel that way. He's not a Dele Alli, at least. It's not that bad. So let's
Exactly.
get back
Thank
to
God.
yeah. It's funny. I was listening to the what's the name of the podcast? Not the Fighting Cock, but their other one. They talk tactics anyway.
Last word.
No, it's the same guys. Anyway, it doesn't matter that much. But they were talking about Delhi and Dumballi's performance in the Thursday game. And I don't want to get too much into the Thursday game because it was an awful situation. But they were convinced that neither of them played very, very bad. They actually had good games, and I was like, I don't understand. I don't understand what's going on there. But talking about players not playing well or not performing, let's talk about Brentford again. Let's get back into the game specifically, and I want to talk about specific players who you guys think will step up. The obvious one that we all want to see is Harry Kane starting to score goals again, and he obviously is going to need some service. Kuva, does Harry Kane, is he going to ever get back to what we saw last season? Does Conte going to get a system that's going to suit him, and are we going to get players in January? You think that'll get him kicking off the way we've seen him before? And is Brentford an opportunity for him to do that?
Well, for me, some things are so simple with this club. If you get Dele Alli, not Dele Alli, what? If you get Dele Alli out,
yeah, I was just going to say.
if you get Kane and Sonny into the box and create chances for them, they will score. They haven't suddenly become bad players, and people keep missing the point that Sonny is not scoring either. It's not Harry Kane by himself that's the problem. It's us being that lack of creativity, lack of belief in getting forward. It's all missing, and if that's all missing, then it's no good having a diamond focal point at the top of the team. It's just going to fail. So who's going to step up? I don't see anything in that midfield other than Højbjerg and Skippy. I just don't rate any of the others whatsoever.
Even Tanguy, you don't even rate Tanguy?
No, I would have got rid of him ages ago.
Yeah.
he just reeks of bad attitude. You obviously have to guess at a lot of it, but you'd see it the way he performs. I mean, how long has he been here? And he looks like he can't even last till half time in most games. He doesn't look interested in some games. He's come on as a substitute. His first move is to walk across the pitch behind an opposing player, so he's marked out of it. He's not even available for the pass. He's hiding.
Yeah, it's telling, right? So just to quickly because I forgot the name of the podcast, and it's one of my favorite to listen to, so I want to apologize to the lads at The Extra Inch. I don't know if you guys have listened to The Extra Inch before. Yeah, really, really good from a tactical perspective. They talk about all the performances of the team, and shout out to those guys, and hopefully we'll get them on our channel at some point. But they were convinced that Tanguy had a good game and Thursday, and Delhi had a good game as well. And I'm not quite sure where that came from because it was blatantly obvious.
I think sometimes I mentioned this earlier on today to several people. You get very attached to your club like you're supposed to, and you support it through thick and thin. The trouble is we have fans who get very attached to players as well, and if they've had any good times, they just think, "Oh well, they'll come good again. They'll come good again." How long do you last with Dele Alli with that attitude? He's been shocking for about 4 years, I think. I'll put him as part of the reason Pochettino got sacked, because Pochettino had faith in him when he was not performing. It's a hard one. I can understand people having views. They'll see these little flash tricks from Ndombele and think, "Oh, that's fantastic." But then when you analyse what he's actually done after that, sometimes it's nothing at all. He's gone forward 6 yards with the ball, come backwards 6 yards with the ball, and then done a 3-yard pass to the side. I mean, Harry Winks can do a 3-yard pass to the side. Allegedly.
Yeah. Sometimes.
if he gets to the ball.
Yeah.
No, actually, I don't think he can anymore. We're just lacking quality, and I think fans are desperately hoping that some of these players are just going to pick up form and get us out of the hole. And a lot of us now, and I think the majority of us now, have just given up on that, and we think you just got to clear these players out and get some proper footballers.
Yeah, I think it's a fair shout, and I'm going to go to Dermot now in regards to the same thought. In regards to what do we need to see on Thursday from the team, from the first team, the team we're sort of we're going to be put out there. Are we going to see somebody get Harry Kane some fucking service, because it's getting absurd to watch and difficult, because we all know if you get him the ball, he's going to put it in the back of the net. And like Akuva just said, is it January? Like, are we going to literally go through the Christmas period like this, where we just don't have enough? Because you would think I think we all thought when Conte came in that he's going to improve some of these players, right? Some of the players who are kind of on the cusp or the edge of potentially still getting back to their best. Is that a feasibility, you think?
I think it is. Firstly, sorry, my laptop went mad when Kuva mentioned Dele Alli.
It's all good, mate.
Every time he mentions Ali or Winks, the laptop has a meltdown.
I mean, you can't blame it, like.
No, you can't. No, no, be good. I think Harry will come good. Harry's too good not to come back. I think he's had a hard summer. Then he's had all the Levy mind games, and I've got another opinion on that, which I'll share later. But I think the club have a lot to answer for over that. I think Conte will have a rocket under them players for Thursday. I think he'll have his hitman in there, that fella with the bald head on the bench. He'll have them strung up on each of the hooks in the dressing room. And if you don't play well, you're not coming down from them hooks. He'll have a little torture side in the corner of the dressing room. If you don't play well, you're going on that. They owe us a performance.
Yeah.
They owe us. It's not a case of, we hope to play it. We demand, they owe us a performance, and we demand it. And if they don't, then get them out in January. And that's for Harry. I think Harry needs to be given a bit of a slack. He's carried us for 5 or 6 years. So I think he's allowed to have a dip, and he will come good. And he will end up top goal scorer this season.
Yeah,
I guarantee that.
I think it'll, like Kuva said, it does come down to him getting the ball, though, and just do we have a player that's going to step up? That's my biggest fear. Is the Tanguy is Tanguy going to do it? Is Dele going to do it? We have players. Is Mora going to do it? We have players that couldn't play in behind him that can get him the ball. Do we have anybody good enough that's going to get him the ball like he was able to do himself last season when he literally dropped deep enough to assist Son as much as he did and to score the goals he did?
I don't think we do. I honestly don't think we do. We've got players there that you can get performance, but they're not consistent. And I think that's why Harry's coming deep all the time, because there's nobody there that will do that job for him. So Harry has to come deep to get it.
Yeah, it's a massive problem.
It is a massive problem. And if we could sort it, I mean, it's a shame that we'll have to wait to January to sort it out. But will we sort it out in January?
Hard to say. I mean, that's kind of what we're all waiting for. Yeah, but Brian, I want to get your thoughts on this as well. What do you think we're going to see any of these players kind of come good under Conte and start to get create some things? Because it is obviously what we're missing. We all know it.
Let's have a look at this. So, to start off, all I want to see on the pitch, there's certain requirements I want to see on Thursday. Then I go into the players. I just want to see pride, passion, commitment, devotion, teamwork, some kind of communication, and I don't want to see Dele Alli. So that's pretty much how I want to see the game on Thursday. When it comes to it, oh jeez, I really don't know. I hate doing this. I really don't know. You think they owe us a performance? It's at home. Build up to Christmas, right? They've got to, at the very, very least, put a performance in, but Brentford is not a team you want to be playing. It really, really isn't, because they are really a team that will just slog away for the whole 90 minutes and just won't stop. They're well versed. They know what they're doing, and they can be dangerous. And if we don't start off on the front foot, it could be a long night. I don't want to see Skip and Højbjerg together, because of the lack of creativity immediately. But I kind of do want to see them, because then at least the defense has some cover. That's how bad
they're
we
our
are
best two midfielders right now. That literally are our best two midfielders, and that tells you everything about our situation.
Has the lag gone?
I don't know. Is it gone? You tell me. Nope.
Well, I'm going to say to you, 2 + 2 is
4.
21.
so it's
Okay,
fine,
he's
Brad.
got 5 second lag.
Let's not test it. We'll fix this afterwards. Bri got some new equipment. He's got a new microphone and a new laptop, and this is I believe the second stream that we're using it on. So we got to work that out. So apologize for the Stelios action that's happening on the
It's the
channel.
4th stream I've done, Brian. It's the first time it's happened.
Okay, well, you know what? Maybe there's some other things going on. I'll have to figure it out. But let's get to Adam. Adam, thoughts on what do we have any? Do we see anything coming from our midfield? Are we going to create chances? Some of the statistics are damning. Our shots per game is 19th in the league. Shots on target 14th in the league. Goals 16th in the league. I mean, crosses 19th in the league. Those are really, really poor statistics from a team that's striving to get into the top 4. What do we have to do to get there? Is there anything you can see from this midfielder, from this setup that we're going to start to see those statistics improve?
Yeah, those stats aren't great at the moment, are they? Like, I mean, flipping heck, like even I can tell that. Like, but still, in like, the midfield, like, I'm not sure really, like, if they can improve a lot. Like, if Skip and Højbjerg are there together, but like at the same time, who else can you play there? Like maybe like someone else as like a great suggestion, but like I don't really see who else can play there. And like it's like we were talking about earlier, like Conte can play a great formation, like 5 midfielders. You have the holding midfielders, and then you have the creative midfielders like giving Kane and Son the service. But like we don't have the players at the moment, like as was rightly mentioned earlier. So like we have to hold out till January with the system. But I think like Conte effect, like the players will just naturally, and of course manager Brown, so they'll naturally start to improve a bit. Like even like players that I had like no hope for, like Ben Davis, he's showing signs of improvement. But like I'll say this
Eric
first
Dyer
now.
actually is probably having his best season.
Yeah,
We've seen
Dyer's
him
been pretty
in
good
his
so
first
far.
shirt, to be fair to him,
We know what Eric Dyer can do. He can fall off so dramatically, like like come second half of the season. Hopefully that won't happen, or maybe hopefully at that point we would have gotten like a better defender to play alongside Romero. But like you never know. But one thing I will definitely say about it, these lads showed us like in that second half against, what was it?
Leeds.
My memory is so bad. Who are we playing again? Leeds. There we go. They've shown us now how well they can play. So there is no excuse for them really, as far as I'm concerned. We know how well they can play, and like no more 45 minutes of just like disorganization and like looking like they're making it up as they go along. Please, no more of that. Like we know they can play better.
Yeah, I agree. And I actually don't think they played that well in that second half. I think they pressed well, and I think they worked harder. And I think that's just like, it really comes down to that. That's something that they've been missing for some time. I want to talk about the defense, and thanks for bringing that up, Adam. And I'll start with you, Kuva. Who do we think is going to be in that 3? We're gonna see Davinson Sanchez, Eric Dyer, and Ben Davies. Is that 3 without Romero being fit?
Well, Dyer and Davies for me are absolutely nailed on. They're going to start no matter what.
It's either Tanguy or Tanganga or Sanchez for you.
Yeah, it looks that way. I mean, personally, I know lots of people want to see Rodon given a chance, and I just don't rate him. I think he's really average. I mean, there's the argument for saying really average is good enough for this team. But
fair
no, I think our sort of first 11 we know roughly what it is. And I think that luckily that first 11 is capable of giving most teams a proper game in this league. We're still going to lose to the likes of Liverpool and Chelsea. There's just no way around that at the moment. We're just simply not good enough. But everybody else, including Brentford, we should be able to put out a team capable of beating them. So defensive question. I would put in Tanganga, even though I think he's struggling a little bit lately. It's just because he needs that experience. He's one for the future, and we might as well start trying to give him that game time now. Playing alongside Dyer, suddenly Dyer has actually become a bit of a rock for the team. He's the reason we're not going to miss Romero as much as we thought we would. We're still missing the bloke's a quality player.
Yeah, best center half in the league, arguably, or could be like in that conversation. Purely
defensively, though, Dyer's done a very good job. Never thought I'd say that.
I'm a little worried about Tanganga because his ball playing ability. He seems to. Of course, that's what Conte wants. He wants his center halves to be able to play with the ball at their feet, distribute, pass the ball, get the wing backs rolling up the flanks.
Indeed.
I think that's what it looks like for me watching him. He's struggling with it a little bit. It's not part of his game necessarily. He's good with the ball at his feet quickly, and if he moves quickly in a close way, and his tackling is really good, and his understanding of positioning is really good, I think. But I think that maybe that's probably why we're seeing him struggle a little bit, is because he's being asked to do things he's not used to doing, or it's not the best part of his game. So that's my worry about him. Davinson Sanchez, I want to bring this up, and we'll get thoughts on defense. We'll go around the horn on the defense as well. But Davinson Sanchez had an awful game on Thursday, probably the worst game he's ever had in a Spurs shirt, or one of them, just against a team that he should never be failing as miserably. Having said that, he was playing out of position on the left side of a 3 he does not have a left foot, clearly. And every time somebody cut in, his body shape was totally wrong. Is he much like, because I actually started to see like him kind of returning to what he was like in the 3 with Yen and Toby beside him, where if he understands the position well and he's being spoken to from a good defender beside him saying, you go here, he's actually quite good. But when you put him in that left side of a 3 and you don't have a Romero or a Dyer next to him to sort of dictate what's happening, he ends up being a complete mess. The thoughts on that, Dermot? Just that to add to the defensive conversation and what we might see versus Brentford.
Yeah, I agree with you with Sanchez. When he had Toby and that beside him,
he was brilliant.
He was brilliant.
Yep.
He was. I think they paid enough money. They should be able to play anywhere where the manager tells them to play.
I agree.
It doesn't matter if you play left or right. They should be able to play. They paid enough money. With the defence, I would play Roden. I think Roden needs to be given a chance.
Controversial.
I do. I don't trust our defenders. Do you know what I mean? There's a mistake in all of them. And you just wait. As good of a season Dyer's had, you're waiting for a mistake.
Well, from what we know about him, because it's always been the case, right? Yeah.
I mean, like Newcastle. I mean, the own goal. I mean, that was just the most funniest thing you'll ever see. He was trying to do an impression of Van Halen. You know,
it was like he was in a Lemony Snicket book. Like.
He was.
Yeah.
But they will miss Romero. But I think if you pay Tanguy, Dyer, and Roden, that would be my back 3.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about Roden as well that isn't spoken about a lot, when he was I think named best defender in the championship when he was at Swansea before we bought him, which is arguably the reason we bought him. He was named that because of how well he played out from the back. He was really good with the ball at his feet. He was confident with his passing, something that Conte wants, right? And of course, can he do that at a higher level? That's the question. I think that's what Kuva's probably getting at, and he's like, he maybe just not good enough to do it, which is a fair point. We haven't really. But we haven't really seen it, though, have we? We haven't really seen him get it. Like we haven't seen a run of games with Bergwijn. What Brian's point was with Bergwijn, we haven't seen a run of games with Rodon either. And I would like to see a run of games, like just give him 3 or 4 games in a row. If he makes 2 or 3 mistakes, one every other game or something, get him out. Like he shouldn't be playing. But again, not a run of games, and he looks. Does he have a left foot? I'm pretty sure his left foot's not too bad. And we're missing that left side of the, when Yan goes and you lose arguably the best center half with the left foot in the league, and we've been struggling ever since. So
yeah, I think he plays on the left side for Wales with Davis. I think.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think I think if I'm not mistaken, that makes from my memory. But let's go to Adam here on the defensive side of things, and Brian, we'll get to you in a sec. But Adam, what are your thoughts? How do you see that 3 lining up? I think it is the most important thing for Conte's setup to have that 3 being really solid and dynamic and be able to pass properly. What are your thoughts?
Well, like if I was Conte, like I mean, this is just me being really hopeful again. Like, but like if I was going to put it in that 3, like especially with the fact that Romero's out, I'd have maybe Tanganga like on the right, because I think like still he could pass for like a right back, like not just centre back. I'd like I'd have Dyer there, because at the moment he is playing great, even though like Dermot said, he has a Newcastle in him, like if you know what I mean. And then what. Ben Davis, maybe it's time for Rodon after all, like, because I've been saying this for like the past 2 weeks now. Like, might as well start my own hashtag, time for Rodon, but lads, if you notice, like with some of these players, like It was like, especially the ones that we wanted to play, the likes of Tanganga, the likes of Rodon, even like likes of Sanchez's, like as you showed last Thursday, like whenever ever these players finally get their chance to play in the games like they don't turn up or they just have a bad game, like that concerns me. Like, and I know, like they haven't had a lot of game time, like, and they've been out with injury and all this stuff, but like I still think these guys they can't just have like one game. They need multiple games, especially those defenders likes of Sanchez. Never thought I'd say that, like, but like definitely the likes of Tanganga and maybe even Davis like need more game time, like, and maybe I don't know, come January, February, we'll know like who our best defenders are.
Yeah, it's a fair point. Brian, thoughts on the defense? You're muted, by the way.
Yep, I knew. I was just moving the mouse over. But first of all, before I speak about the defence, I just wanted. It's his first time I've seen him in the channel. It's my friend here, Ryan Isaacs, who I met at the Levy Out protest, who is with me, one of the most passionate and loudest. And was he loud at the protest? So I just want to say big up and welcome to the channel. And great to see you in here, Ryan. And in answer to your question, February. I'm saying February. So now getting back to the defence. Listen, I've gone on record saying I like Sanchez. I think there's a player there, but I don't blame him for the first goal against Mura. Rodon's got just as much to blame for standing still like that with his arms behind his back rather than running down and charging him down. But after, I'm a bigger fan of Tanganga than I am Sanchez, and I think that right of a back three is made for Tanganga. That is the position for him. So I'd like to see him there. Dyer's a shoe-in, and as Kuva said, so is Davies. So that sorts that defence. And I'm fine with Davies and Dyer, unbelievably so. I'm absolutely confident in saying Davies and Dyer. Who would have thought you'd be saying that? But when you talk about Rodon, listen, I like him, and I think there's a good player. But as I was saying on Dermot's channel and Kuva's channel, Stay Tottenham Gold, when we were reviewing the Sugar years, when we lost Gary Lineker, Jurgen Klinsmann, we replaced him with Chris Armstrong. And I'm sorry, we went to go get Skriniar and we replaced it with Rodon. They're not in the same class. They're not in the same league. Listen, under Mourinho, before Mourinho got sacked, the last 4 games, by far, Rodon was our best defender. But we seem to have this scenario last season where a defender would have 4 games, play well, and for no reason then be out the squad. For no reason whatsoever. And it's now been 4 managers he's had. 4 managers haven't chosen him. Now there's talk that he's a bit of a party goer. He's got a bit of an attitude. So again, I think off the field antics are happening. If he can stamp that out, there may be a player. But he's going to have to force his way in. It may be good him doing it, but like Gareth Bale does when you go for your country, it's a completely different mentality for them. And he's performing with the Welsh Dragon on his heart. And I just think there's something missing. I think there's a player there, but his attitude is just not there. And I think Dele Alli may have his claws into him. So at the moment, like we're saying with Bergwijn, he's got to earn it. He's got to earn it. And right now, Davies, Dyer, Tanganga for me.
Davies, Dyer, Tanganga. All right. Well, let's get some predictions for the game Thursday. Kuma, I'll start with you. Kuva, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts on the scoreline? What do you expect to see?
Depends how many players are fit for it. If we got the what we perceive as our first 11, I mean, bar Romero, we know's out. I think we've actually got enough to beat Brentford. I think they've benefited enormously from being that kind of the first perceived club to work with that money ball approach that was made so famous coming from the States and the movie made about it. And it's worked for them. I didn't think it was going to work for a football team because I thought there'd be too many variables, but they've done it. So they've got a talented young squad, but they've got a squad that's a bit thin.
Yeah,
and there's obviously no backing sort of Premiership experience to go with it. And I think now that they've had a few injury problems, they're finding it's become a bit difficult. Teams have found them out. Somebody was mentioning in the comments earlier, stop Tony and you stop Brentford. And there is some truth to that, because he is phenomenal when it comes to being the focal point for all their attacks. Even if he's not scoring himself, he leads the line tremendously.
Take him at Spurs in a second.
Yeah. I would.
You know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That would solve your problem for going for 3-5-2.
Yeah, 100%.
Except for the midfield, obviously.
One of the problems.
Perhaps we go to a 3-2.
So what's your score there, Kuva? You got a score for us?
I think we're going to edge that. It's not going to be easy again, but I think we've got enough to beat them. I'm going for a 2-1 Spurs win. 2-1
Spurs win. Awesome. All right, I'm going to go to Dermot next. What are your thoughts as a scoreline? What do you think?
I think if we come out fighting, we played them last season in the cup, so we have got experience of playing Brentford. So I don't think they should surprise us too much.
2-0, I believe, was the last time we played.
Yeah. I think we'll win 1-0. I think it'd be a tight game, and I think we'll scrape a 1-0.
Nice one, good one. All right, Adam, your thoughts, scoreline? What are you predicting here?
Do you know what? My heart says 2-1 Tottenham, but like to see this thing in here, this stupid cynic little thing called my brain, like it says 2-all. Like just I mean, I have to keep it consistent. Like earlier, I said I was nervous about Brentford. Like I still think they have like the potential to score goals and stuff. Like, but like we have the squad out there. We have the players like in the right positions and in the right frame of mind that can beat this team. Like we really don't have a lot of excuses now. Like so let's just go out there and let's just beat them. Like let's put the bees back in their beehive. Or am I thinking of something else?
No, that's right. Yeah. You got it right. Nice one.
Nice one.
I think so as well. You want to see a performance. We want to see him come out. Bri, score predictions, buddy?
So I've said all along, I think there's going to be 4 goals in this game. Now, my heart is saying 3-1 Tottenham, but my head is, funnily enough, exactly the same as Adam, and 2-2. But I think there's going to be 4 goals. I think we'll just edge it, but 2-all would not surprise me one bit. Look how they did it. I know Liverpool was at home and it was 3-3. They know how to fight. I'm
pinned Chelsea back for a period of time as well.
We need this. Exactly. Those were both at home, and you could say home, away, whatever. And I just, it needs to be 3 points. Anything else, and I can feel the heat will start getting cranked up. Not on Conte, but on these players and the board, and going into Christmas and just the non-stop fixture list. This is too, especially after last Thursday, need a better Thursday. That's for damn sure.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I'm going to do my prediction quickly. I think it's going to be really tight as well. I think Dermot got it spot on. I see a 1-0 win for Spurs. I think we will keep it tight at the back, despite Romero not being there, and we're going to struggle to score. We have struggled to score for the entire season. So I get 2 goals. Who's going to score 2 goals? That doesn't happen very often. So I love Danny. Danny's got he wants to see a lot of goals there too. Cheers, Danny. Don't think it's going to happen, but appreciate your thoughts. All right, so we've got a new we've got a new segment we're going to be doing on whenever we have guests on from another channel. Obviously, this is Tottenham Tantrum Gold, our first one. We're going to be doing Who Are You? So playing this video. I hope it works. It's a new intro for this segment. All right, lads. I gotta chuck that in there. It didn't fit the screen. I just did it while we were going there. But anyway, who are you? So we want to get to know you guys a little bit better. We want our subscribers to get to know you guys a bit better, and then we want them to go to your channel. So hopefully, if you've watched this or if you've not watched Tottenham Tantrum Gold before, go to their channel. They're about 96, I think you guys said before we started. Get them over the 100 mark. Let's get them over the 100 mark, and then of course let's push them to as high as we can get them. And we're happy to have you guys on here. I'll start with you, Dermot, since you have Tottenham Tantrum Gold written as your name. Tell us a little bit about how you and Kuva came up with the channel idea and what it is you guys want to do. And of course, just a little bit about the background of what Tottenham Tantrum Gold is.
Well, Tottenham Tantrum Gold came out on my Twitter page. It was over the lockdown. I had me on Twitter page and I was getting bored of who I was following on Twitter.
That's why we're all here right now, to be fair.
Yeah. But it came from that. And I started doing the Twitter page. And then I started going on to David Harris's The Irish Hot Spurs channel. And then I met Kuva on there, and I met Phil, and I met Josh. And it just sprang from that, really. It was just we were having a bit of a chat, and I come up with the idea of, because nobody was doing classic games or old content.
So tell us a little bit about that, and what was the thought there?
Well, it was a time where we were all pretty low as Spurs fans. A lot of Spurs fans haven't seen us win much. So the idea was to show the fans that we were a great club in the past, and show them the great cup finals and the League Cup finals and great league games. And it just sprang from that, really. And it's just rolled into another thing. And then Kuva's come along, I think after about the first couple of weeks, and he's been Kuva's been brilliant. I mean, Kuva's absolutely brilliant on it, and Phil Letiz is on it as well, my other co-host, and we enjoy. We're three middle-aged, grumpy men talking about Tottenham of the past. That's effectively what we are. So Kuva described us as that the other day, so that's what we are.
That's brilliant. I love that. Fantastic stuff. So Kuva, tell us a little bit about you joining the channel, and how much fun you guys are having, and where it's going to go.
Well, for me, it all leads back to Irish Hotspur again, because I wasn't bothered about following any of the football on YouTube. I just happened to see his channel pop up in one of my feeds one time. I thought, I'll give it a look. I was bored. David, the channel owner there, his enthusiasm just grabbed me.
It's infectious, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. So then I thought, I'll watch this a bit. I watched this for a while, and then I got to know all the people's names in the chat, started joining in more myself, getting on the super chats, then ended up doing the call-ins. And when Dermot approached me about, come on to the 4 Hotspurs at the time, the other channel he was on, I said, yeah, they had me on there. It was a good little show. And then Dermot said about doing the Tottenham Tantrum Gold, and talking about the good old days for Spurs. That is right up my street. So I was totally when you've got the likes of Brian Daigle there, and you just have to mention something in history that he's seen in Spurs, some enjoyable moment, the 1991 FA Cup final, something like that, and his eyes just light up, and you think, yeah, I see that with all the fans. We all want to remember those days, just the nostalgia and reliving past glories. I mean, that's what a club's supposed to be all about. You treasure your history. You don't just sweep it under the carpet like Levy would have.
Kuva, I just got chills when you said that. That was nice. That was good.
It's true though. I mean,
Well said,
are you if you're not the sum of your memories? It's the same with football clubs. So we should be celebrating every year of our history, not just looking at this account balance and how well Levy's done with making the new ground. It was the old ground that mattered more to me, not the new one. That's where all the memories were for me. So that's what our channel's all about. It's celebrating that. And as Dermot said, grumpy old men whining about Levy and looking at when times were good. People seem to like it so far.
Yeah,
that's brilliant.
We were doing the what game was it, Kuva, when we showed the 19? I found the clip of the 21 Cup final. It was like 7 minutes long, and it was the most hilarious 7 minutes on YouTube. We couldn't even find the ball. I mean, it was that funny. I mean,
literally 100 years old. Yeah.
Wow.
It was. I just found it by accident on YouTube, and we were doing the 81 or so we're doing some cup final, and I said, right, we're doing the 61 double cup final. We said, right, we stick that on before, but it was the most funniest thing we've ever done in our lives, because it was like you couldn't see where the ball was. There were we were making jokes about the black and white, and because the king was at that game for the king, whoever was the king of England at that time, and we were cracking jokes to see the cars coming. It was just the most funniest 7 minutes ever. I don't know where I found it, but it was so funny.
That's fantastic. That's some rare stuff. So, folks like Adam and I, obviously I'm in Canada and I wasn't able to experience some of those, and Adam's a young lad, so we weren't able to experience some of those old times. I feel like watching your channel is going to be like, and obviously if I get the opportunity to come on, looking forward to doing that as well. But it's just going to be incredible to kind of get a sense of what's going on at the club. I've read a lot of the books, I have a good sense of the history, and but to see videos and to hear you guys talk about it, even when I hear Bri talk about it, and he talks about his experiences going to the lane, and it's amazing. My history is I went to the lane in 94 for the first time with a friend, and that's when I became a Spurs fan. But we've never able to watch games until probably early 2000s when you could start to stream it over here. So I didn't really get the full deal the way you guys did. So I look forward to watching the channel and experiencing that. Bri, is there anything you want to add? Adam will come to you as well. But Bri, do you want anything questions you want to ask the lads about?
Yeah, well, not so much. I'm just going to give it a huge respect, because what Dermot and Kuma have done, thinking of this idea about reliving glorious games of the past, is educating a load of people that didn't get to see it, like you said yourself, or people that just didn't see us in our heyday, in the great days, and get to see these little, whether it be 7 minutes for the 1921 FA Cup final, or it could be a 1996 game. Just to sit back and relive it with this community we've created, and not just the people on the panel, the great people in the chat.
Absolutely.
Get their advice, get their images, get their visions and everything about it. It's just a great idea by three wonderful people that are doing it with Phil, who we had on last week.
Yep.
I have shared the link for their channel in the live chat. Now they were
and if you're not, sorry, Brad, just to
96 now.
Just to quickly interrupt, it is also in the description, and their Twitter is in the description as well. So if you want to introduce yourself, you want to get on the channel and hang out with them and chat with them, or if you want to go to, if you're not watching this live, you're watching it afterwards, then hop on in there, and the link's there as well. You can guys go in and subscribe.
Yeah, if I remember rightly, Dermot and I were talking at one point about having somebody just drop in at random from the chat, and or just say what their favorite game was, and we're going to try and bring up that game, perhaps bring them on, they can talk about it, and just have like a random guest each week to do that. That would be ideal, but might prove a bit tricky, so we're working on that one.
Yeah, we're also starting a morning show 3 days a week, just talking about Tottenham and whatever. But the channel's really the basis of the channel's for the fans. It's for it's for the fans to remember and new fans to see. And if somebody gets a kick out of that, then I get a kick out of it. That makes me happy. The channel is for the Spurs family. And that's what it is, and that's what it'll always be. The basis of the channel is for everyone to come together and relive our greatest days.
Love it. It's fantastic. Really, really good stuff, guys. And Adam, do you have anything to add? We got to get you on there so you can watch some stuff that you maybe have never seen before, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Adam's been on there actually a few times.
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
Adam's it's late. His parents are in bed at the moment. It's all good, mate. So yeah, sort of Adam. We'll leave it at that. Yeah, no worries, mate. We'll leave it at that. Somebody's making a bit of noise with their mic in the background. I'm not sure which. I think might be Brian.
Right.
That would have been me making silly noises. It would have been me making silly.
Yeah, stop.
But shalom Ben, Hagsamayachaki.
Nice. Well, no, it's all good, mate. So yeah, just I think we'll wrap it up there. But just I want to thank you guys for coming on. It's been a pleasure to have you on, and I look forward to getting onto your channel at some point and having you guys back as well. And hopefully we can get you guys over the line with that 100 subscribers with some of the folks who watch this, and you guys will get more people going over and visiting.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for having us on. It's been a complete honor and a privilege to come on your great stream, and everyone get them over 1,000 because these guys deserve it. They do an absolute fantastic stream every week.
Cheers.
And, God bless Brian and both you both deserve it. So please, everyone, get them over 1,000.
Yeah, absolute pleasure. Thank you, lads.
you.
And I've got to say, even last Friday when you had that absolute,
The wonky hour.
I've got to go and watch this now. I've got to
Yes.
put it on the telly after. Just put it 3:58. Right, sit back.
it was the most glorious sort of derailing of a show, and just Harry limping on and on and on, and he just wondered when was it going to be put out of his misery.
Oh man,
I
yeah.
thought our show last night, Coover was bad.
I blame myself. I blame myself for
no.
that. Go ahead, Brian.
Alan, don't blame yourself. Listen, you cut someone off before. Believe me, if I had cut it off, we probably wouldn't have a YouTube channel anymore. Because that night I was getting. But yeah, that was. I've watched it back 100 times. You know what?
Have you?
It was the most beautiful, harmonious. Shut the f up. I've on YouTube. You did exceptionally well. Listen, that guy AG. I hope he comes on again. I really want him to come on again, but when he's not on holiday. When he's not on a dodgy Wi-Fi and isn't lagging so much, says the guy that's lagging, and then we can maybe do something, because he seemed like a nice guy. It just went batshit crazy and totally OTT for that final hour. So if anyone wants to laugh for the final hour, just go and watch that.
Yeah, it was a good laugh. It was a good time. I reckon that I probably had a couple too many wobbly pops, and that helped my my confidence a little bit in the things I said. So, AG, if you are watching this at some point, we'd love to have you back on and maybe have a little bit more of a civil conversation, unless you want to do that again, because that was kind of fun. But anyway, thanks for watching. We will be back later in the what day is it today? It's Tuesday. We've got a game Thursday. We're going to be the two Brians on Friday, so we've got some special guests on Friday. Brian, why don't you tell everybody before we go about what's happening on Friday?
So on Friday we have the return of one of the people that used to be a regular on this show. We have the return of the superstar Jack Kanicki, and alongside with that, he's making his debut. They're both making their debut on Tottenham On Tour.
On this channel
will be the return of the Irish Hotspur. So this Friday's Two Brian is going to be a lot of fun, a lot of jokes, a lot of entertainment, and just a really good fun show. So people don't miss that. It's going to be. I think we're going to go at 5 o'clock again.
Yeah, I think we're going to try to do that, and this one also may go 4.5 hours, but it may probably for different reasons.
Yes.
But yeah, and Adam will probably join us because we'll be a bit earlier. We'll let you know if he's going to be joining us as well, but hope so. And we've got a ton of stuff coming up. We Brian and I and Adam, and we've got another announcement to make, but we're going to take our time making that announcement. Tune in, stay tuned in, because we're progressing over the next 2 or 3 months. There's a lot's going to go down on this channel, and we're Brian, I was too drunk to understand. Like, yeah, probably true, Cody. Thanks for that. Cody with his obvious remarks. But yeah, it was we got so much going on, so we're looking forward to it. And thanks for watching tonight. Really appreciate it. And again, thanks, thank you guys, Tottenham Tantrum, for being here with us. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we'll be back soon, folks. Cheers. Oh, Brian. Oh, what? Yeah, no.
Just one more thing I want to say, and it's I want people to know I've got so Spurs Liverpool, which is obviously the last Premier League game before Christmas, or the big one. It's on a Sunday. I have got the hugest table at Scotland Yard booked, because I have so many near and dear friends. James, you're on my table, so don't worry about that. I have a couple of Liverpool fans coming along who came to the last one at the Yard, and they're great fun. So anyone that is in Toronto or downtown, we're going to do our first We Are Tottenham TV. Tottenham On Tour live thing from the pub. Not a watch along, but loads of fun going on. Hopefully Cody Mack will be appearing as well. So it's a great Sunday. So if anyone in the Toronto area is looking for somewhere to come and watch the Spurs Liverpool game, please get in touch with me, because I'll add the table. There's going to be a lot Toronto Spurs are laying on as well. It's going to be a great day. So everyone in Toronto, if you can, get to the Scotland Yard on the 19th of December.
All right. And on that note, thanks for being here again. We'll talk soon, and we'll see you guys soon. Have a good one. Cheers.
Leave you out.
Tottenham On Tour. Tottenham